And I've got to take an experimental shot, or I can't fly on an airplane, or I can't have a job? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. It's Thursday, September 15th, 2022. Today in the headlines, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sends illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. The New York Times publishes DeSantis hit piece in their weekly magazine. Ohio Democrat Congressman Tim Ryan says new Republican movement must be killed. And the U.S. Army suggests soldiers get on food stamps to make ends meet. I'll be talking about these headlines and more coming up right now. So from The Independent today, Ron DeSantis sends 2 planes of undocumented migrants to Martha's Vineyard. In this story by Graham Massey, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has sent 2 planes of undocumented migrants to Martha's Vineyard, an exclusive island off the coast of Massachusetts where Barack Obama owns a mansion. I think Obama was expecting hot dogs. The migrants could be seen getting off the plane at the island's airport in the video obtained by Fox News Digital. Yes, Florida can confirm the 2 planes with illegal immigrants that arrived in Martha's Vineyard today were part of the state's relocation program to transport illegal immigrants to sanctuary destinations. That is according to Ron DeSantis's communications department. Then moving along to the New York Times, is Ron DeSantis the future of the Republican Party? For years, Democrats have worried, about the prospect of a more disciplined heir to Trump. In Florida's pugilistic governor, that candidate may have arrived. So this is an obvious hit piece. Everyone knows that DeSantis is doing what's right in regards to maintaining some of the traditional characteristics of government, Republican government, and in particular, in regards to education, is affirming the parents' needs and wants to take certain, keep certain curriculum away from young children. So in this article here from the New York Times, hit piece, it really is a hit piece. I'm not going to read into the whole article, but I just want to go into one paragraph here. DeSantis has forged relationships not only with Fox, where a producer once gushed to a member of the governor's staff that he could host the show, but the edgelord media types who have flocked to his state and boosted him online. A former aide told me DeSantis regularly read his Twitter mentions. In January, invitees to a dinner at the governor's mansions included Dave Rubin, a popular right-wing web talk show host. Now, many of you might know Dave Rubin. He's a former liberal that basically woke up, was awakened, and red-pilled, you could say. And I hate the characterization of right-wing because it screams extremist, and there's really nothing extremist about Dave Rubin. Benny Johnson, a Newsmax host, fellow DeSantis heads from the extremely online right include Alex Jones, who in August declared him way better than Trump before begging the former president for forgiveness, and Elon Musk, with whom the governor has dined. So they try to connect him with Alex Jones. All that's fair. If they want to debate policy, they should, but they don't. They go onto a smear campaign and try to label him as the next Trump because it was very easy to demonize Trump, and they just want to take all that demonization and just move it over to Ron DeSantis. But he certainly is more disciplined, more articulate, and younger. So it's going to be hard to keep DeSantis off the political path to the White House or pinnacle of American politics. Two migrant buses arrive outside Vice President Kamala Harris's Naval Observatory residence in D.C. I wanted to stick this in here. This is breaking news from Fox. Between 75 and 100 migrants who were picked up in Eagle Pass, Texas, were sent by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. As I said, two migrant buses from Del Rio, Texas, arrived near Vice President Kamala Harris's residence at the Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C. on Thursday morning. About 100 people were picked up in Eagle, Texas, and were sent by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The group includes migrants from Venezuela, Uruguay, Colombia, and Mexico. Multiple migrants asked by Fox News Digital said they think the border is open, contrary to what Harris said on Sunday during an interview. Then moving on to the news, the Hill reports Tim Ryan on extremist GOP. We've got to kill and confront the movement. Now, this is dangerously violent rhetoric. Now, I don't believe words are violence, but when words condone violence, even, in this case, kind of like an off-the-cuff comment, but still, you have to realize that a former Democrat politician just stabbed to death a journalist in Las Vegas last week. And this is from The Hill, as I mentioned, Dominic Mastrangelo from Tuesday. Representative Tim Ryan, Democrat of Ohio, said that his party and more generally Americans need to kill and confront what he described as an extremist movement within the GOP. It isn't extremist, it's anti-establishment. This goes all the way back before the 2016 election, where the general sentiment of the electorate in the United States was anti-establishment. Why? Because they found the establishment in both parties was corrupt and self-serving and wasn't generally representing the feelings of the American electorate. Simple. That's how Trump got elected. That's how Bernie Sanders got all his populist support. Not surprising. From Fox News, they report on Tim Ryan, Senate candidate. So he's running for Senate as well. Senate candidate Representative Tim Ryan tells MSNBC, time to kill and confront the extremist Republican movement. Ryan clarified that he's looking to work with normal mainstream Republicans, establishment Republicans. And as I mentioned before, everyone's, the American electorate, except for some left-wing extremists or other cult members, want to get away from establishment politics. Ryan made his comments during his Tuesday interview with MSNBC Morning Joe, where he called in to discuss the state of the Senate race against Republican candidate J.D. Vance with anchor Willie Geist. If you're living in Ohio, you're going to need to, you should read J.D. Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, or see the movie. But you should support him as a senator. We need a clean slate. As Trump said many times, to drain the swamp means to end corruption in D.C. Too many of your taxpayer dollars being wasted on major graft and grifting for this to go on any longer. From Yahoo Finance, and this is from Banking Rates, food stamp guidance, U.S. Army advises soldiers to fight inflation by applying for SNAP. Now, Walmart did this quite a few years back when people were complaining that that employees of Walmart were getting paid so little that Walmart suggested, to supplement their income, they should get on SNAP. In this article by Vance Cariaga, Vance writes, it was suggested that soldiers who qualify for SNAP take advantage of the program to ease any financial problems caused by the highest inflation rate in more than 40 years, Fox News reported. Because they didn't outright say it, they suggested to people that are suffering because of inflation. And if you don't know what inflation did to your wage, the dollar lost about 10% of its value. So unless you got more than a 10% raise, you're behind. Or if you have money in the bank, it's worth 10% less. That's what inflation means. Prices aren't going to go back down. The currency in the United States, the US dollar, has been devalued by the Democrats, by their spending. So this is from Bloomberg. Friggin' Lindsey Graham, man. Lindsey Graham abortion bill creates turmoil for GOP midterm strategy. So Senator Lindsey Graham introduced a bill to limit abortion to 15 weeks, which morally I support. But this is a terrible time in right before a midterm election to introduce something that's so volatile, a bill that's volatile. In this article here by Stephen Dennis and Laura Litvan from Bloomberg, they write in the lead, Senator Lindsey Graham proposal for a nationwide abortion ban has jolted the Republican strategy for dealing with a contentious social issue and gives Democrats a new line of attack less than 2 months before the midterm elections. Now, Senator Graham is an establishment Republican. And although he sided with Trump a little bit because he's a seasoned politician, he goes which way the wind blows. And he saw the overwhelming populist support for Trump that he tried to hitch his wagon to Trump. But now, along with old Turtlehead there, the Senate leader, Mitch McConnell, they're trying to derail victories or prospective victories of MAGA candidates, America First candidates, by introducing this bill and, like Mitch McConnell did, pulling financing from the campaigns of MAGA Republicans. Lindsey Graham is shooting the GOP in the foot right now. This is apparent. From other news from Bloomberg, Argentina inflation hits 79% ahead of likely rate hike. So this is more of financial turmoil going on throughout the world, thanks to the Great Reset and other factors. The Great Reset includes Argentina. Argentine annual inflation surges 78.5% in August, almost certainly cementing another central bank interest rate hike as early as this week. Of course, imagine if your currency was devalued by almost 75%. It's almost 100%. Imagine your currency, your wage, losing that much value, that much spending power. Amazing. And the Hill reports nation warned to brace for difficult flu season. In this article by Joseph Choi, this isn't surprising. The WHO just reported that the pandemic is nearly over for those of you who are still wearing masks inside your house while you shower. Health experts are warning the nation to brace for what could be exceptionally severe flu season this fall and winter, as most people have not built up immunity over the past few years. Mix and mingle, there are two big reasons why more people could be vulnerable to the flu. They're just warning you. They're going to say there's an end to the pandemic because people are done with all of this. And when COVID mixes with the flu, they're going to, and it's mixing with the flu shot, the COVID shot, they're just trying to urge people to get more vaccination. I mean, that's certainly up to you. From the AFP, Infobesity, how Queen coverage could fuel news fatigue. Now, I said this before when I announced that the Queen of England had died, that we are going to be nauseated by 10 days of coverage of the Queen's funeral. Now, if Britons want to pay homage to their last vestiges of the monarchy, feel free. I believe this is all a distraction. Some people are even speculating that the Queen had died some time ago and they were waiting for an opportune time to announce it and then to begin this 10 days of mourning and then the funeral and then the coronation of the vampire Charles III. So I said this before, it's all a distraction. Keep your eye on the ball, folks. And then the final story here is from the Associated Press, so you can imagine the way they spin this. Right-wing bloc wins narrow majority in Swedish parliament. So their lead is a right-wing bloc that includes nationalist anti-immigration party won a narrow majority in Sweden's parliament Wednesday. It is a major political shift in the Scandinavian country that has a decades-long history of welcoming refugees, but is grappling with a crime wave linked with immigration. I reported this not too long ago when I think it was the New York Times that was reporting that they had gun violence problem, and they have some of the strictest gun laws in Europe. And they have a gun violence problem because, and a lot of it is spurred by a lot of the immigrants coming from the Middle East and these ghettos that they have formed that the police and others can't even go into. They're no-go zones. Certainly not surprising. I mean, I'm not saying that all immigrants are criminals, but, you know, there's a history of such because, you know, you don't speak the language, you don't assimilate, you find employment hard to come by. All right, that's it for me. Rudy's Revelation. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow, share. And check me out on social media. Get Our Minds, Truth Social, Twitter and Facebook. See you tomorrow.
This is a conspiracy.